Why does it look like this, dude? What's up, everybody? How we doing today? What do we think about this new thing? What do we think about this windscreen on the good old mic here? Do we think it looks silly? Does it look okay? I'm trying out something new. I felt like I just need a little switch up. So this is what the old windscreen looks like. This is the new windscreen. Trying to see if I have a mic available to show you guys. Yeah, I do. I have 3 of these microphones. It looks silly. Okay. Does the stream or the video look kind of choppy, like almost like this, like laggy? Because on my program it looks a little bit choppy, laggy, but I don't know if I don't think it's showing that in the review. I'm looking at it. I don't know. I got to move around real quick and just see. Okay. I think it's good. I think we're good. Cool. All right, so we just got done filming a podcast. On Tuesday mornings, we'll usually wake up a little bit earlier, make some coffee, and then film our podcast for the week. Today was on mindset, and one of our friends just got done at the CrossFit semifinals and did the sickest post-game interview that there is. He did so good. He didn't end up making it. He's a CrossFit Games veteran. He's been there a few times. He didn't make it this year, but he did the coolest post-game interview. And basically what we talked about was on his post-game interview, he said he was just talking highly of himself. And this is such a foreign concept to so many people, is talking why does Safari want to give me AI now too? Safari wants me to do AI. I don't know. How do you guys feel about AI? Let's talk about that real quick. How do you guys feel about AI? I do not trust this AI. Like, I won't even go on ChatGPT because I don't trust AI so much. But anyway, he gave the best post-game interview where he said basically there's a lot of doubters. You'd think that the doubters would go away after 3 years of going to the CrossFit Games. I have this thing in me that's awoken, and I'm not ready to put it back yet. All these hyper masculine things that I really love. That by the way, that I think that everyone should have these qualities, these hyper masculine qualities, where it's you only talk highly of yourself. And we talked about the fact that a lot of people don't have that skill to talk highly of themselves because they look at it as cocky and arrogant. And although their cockiness and arrogance is an actual trait, talking highly of yourself and talking positively about yourself and giving yourself compliments and things of that nature, that's not cocky and that's not arrogant. And that's basically what our whole podcast today was about. It was a goodie. If you guys haven't, if you don't know about my podcast, if you haven't subscribed to that channel, go subscribe. It's Counterculture, the Counterculture Pod. Yeah, we just talk about everything that's countercultural. So anyways, I love it, but it's a baby right now. So it makes mistakes that upset people, like putting your poetry in ChatGPT and then someone else asks it to make a poem and it rips you off accidentally. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like AI is going to, this might be conspiratorial and conspiracy theorist, but I don't really care. I just feel like it's going to be the end of humanity, kind of. You know what I mean? It's a good tool, but how do we stop it from progressing? and becoming autonomous. And then if something, yeah, you know, like I don't want to go down the rabbit hole. I mean, ChatGPT for a lot of people really like AI, and I think that some AI generation is definitely like super good, you know. Only if misused, which it definitely will. Yeah, I mean, I think that anything that humans find utility in, somebody's going to mess it up, right? Somebody. We're going down a philosophical rabbit hole again now. I don't know if that's this channel. So we don't need to talk about it. That's true, Jazan. People were scared of that with all big revolutionary things. That's very true. It's very true. So anyway, we don't need to go down the philosophical rabbit hole, I guess. Only if it's Skynet. Isn't Skynet Elon Musk's internet? Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that what it is? Only if it's misused, which it definitely will, not by itself, right? Isn't Skynet Elon Musk's internet thing? Why would that be bad? I'm a fan of Mr. Elon. Oh, Skynet is from the Terminator. I've never seen Terminator. I've never seen Terminator. Sorry. My bad. More opinions. What do we think about this new windscreen? What do we think? I made my coffee so freaking good this morning. Jeez. I'm just a G at making coffee. This is what the original windscreen looks like. And this is the bigger one. A dead cat. I don't know if these are considered dead cats. The ones with like all the hair. I love the name dead cat too. The ones with like all the hair on it. Those I know for sure I'm named dead cats. This might be a dead cat. But we called it windscreens back in my music days. And that's what it came up as when I Googled it. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Which one do you like better? Which one's more aesthetically pleasing for lives and for videos? I needed a switch up. So I don't know. I don't really care about the opinions, to be honest, because I needed a change up. I'm going to keep this on for now. And then maybe I'll switch it back if I think it just looks like too weird. Yeah. I need to go get running shoes today. My shins were beat up. Jazan, you like the first one? I actually like the first one better too, just to make it clear about my opinion on this. I like the first one better too, but I feel like this one makes me a little uncomfortable. So I need to try using it for a little bit because it makes me uncomfortable. All right, where are we going? Let me just get things rolling here, guys. We're going to talk about why I think that walking and step counts, and I made a video about this yesterday. I actually filmed a video about this with my 360 GoPro. I think the editing is going to take a little bit. I don't know if there's any POTS people that are doing cool edits on YouTube or like cool videos like this, so I'm going to try to make it. And not that I think that it's needed, right? Not that I think that it's needed, but I'm going to try to I'm really going to try to make these videos a little bit more pleasing, right? And there's a lot of changes to Adobe Premiere. Cool. I'm going to make these videos a little bit more pleasing to the eye. Uh-oh. Am I frozen? You guys, are we lagging? No. Okay, cool. Just double checking. It shows me that we're lagging. Okay, we're good. Hey, if you guys haven't liked this video yet, make sure that you like it. It helps push in the algorithm. We're going to actually get to the topic here in a second. I'm just trying to get all my stuff straight so that I can get into the topic at hand. Make sure you like the video. It helps push in the algorithm. Helps push us in the algorithm, rather. So that more people can be helped, more people can see the content. I would really appreciate you guys doing that. All right. Boom. Boom. I have to get on one of these lives soon. I'm going to get a client, a one-on-one client to get on live with me and to talk about all things POTS. I think that that would be super helpful for a lot of people to kind of like beat the timidness of like not even just like working with me, but to beat the timidness of like of working out, of starting to make these lifestyle changes. I think that that would be a really good live podcast type thing where people get to see and talk, or see somebody who like is in their position. It'd be more relatable. I have POTS, do CrossFit 4 to 5 times a week, and participated in my first Murph yesterday. Let's go! Let's go! Found your channel a while back and have shared it with other members in our gym who have dysautonomia. Let's freaking go! You did the Murph? Dude, for anybody that doesn't know, right? I didn't do the Murph. I'm stuck in a training cycle right now. I did not do Murph. I'm kind of bummed about it, but good for you. Amazing job. I'm super proud of you. That's freaking cool, dude. For anybody that doesn't know what Murph is, it's a 1 mile run, 100 push-ups or 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 body weight or just air squats, right? Because it's traditionally the Murph is done with a weighted vest. I'll get to that. And then it's another mile run. You can do it partitioned however you like. So you could do 10 rounds of break up the reps. You can do 5 rounds of break up the reps. You can do it however you like, however it gets you there. You can scale it. So instead of pull-ups, you do like ring rows or TRX rows, whatever. But just accomplishing that, even if you don't have POTS, doing the Murph is freaking awesome. It's amazing. So the fact that you have POTS and you did the Murph, I am so happy for you. That's so freaking cool, dude. Oh man. Wow. Good on you. Good on you. What was your time? That's freaking awesome. That is awesome. That just hyped me up. That hyped me for the rest of the day. You don't know what you just did. You don't know what kind of fire you just lit under me. Wow. That's so cool. And you said too that you've shared with other members in your gym who have dysautonomia. How many other people, like how many people have dysautonomia doing CrossFit at your gym, dude? That's crazy. That's so cool. This like kind of goes into like, I think that CrossFit is like the most beneficial exercise modality for people with POTS. Maybe I could get into that in a video. That might actually be a really good topic. The one thing that I don't like about CrossFit is that they claim to cure chronic illness, and I don't like that, but I do CrossFit. I'm a CrossFit practitioner, if you will. But that's great. Frick. That's so cool. You have no idea the beast that you just awoken in me. I already have to pee. Should I pee before I get into the topic of this video? 5206? Dude, that's good. That's good. That's really good, especially because you have POTS. That's really good. That's super good. Okay, I have to pee. Should I do that before I get into this, or should I get into this a little bit and then move on to the topic? Or should I? Your videos have kept me going on bad days. Thank you. Nah, dude. That's all you, dude. That's all you, but I appreciate that. All right. I'm making the call. Let's get let's get on with the get on. All right, so steps and POTS syndrome, why I think that they're so effective, right? I made a video about this yesterday. I started recording something about it yesterday, and I think that it's really worth speaking about. I think that I think that step counts, walking is the hidden sauce for, and will be the hidden sauce for a lot of people with POTS. Here's a couple of reasons why. The first being that it's not a formal form of exercise that you have to do in one stint, right? The second is that it's accessible to basically anybody, even bedridden people can have a step count goal that will definitely improve their situation, if not like a lot, at least marginally. And number three, it's easily progressible. Those are the three reasons why I think that step counts are the best. So now let's dig deep into it a little bit, right? So number one. Oh man, I cannot. Okay, let's go to point number 2 first. And that is that it's accessible to everybody. And what I mean by that specifically is that everybody has to take steps in their life, period. I haven't heard yet of a POTS person that's peeing in a bucket right next to their bed. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not. But the point that I'm trying to make is that it's accessible to everybody. I've only seen, it's true that some people with POTS are bedridden, but they do have to get up to go to the kitchen. They do have to get up to go pee. They do have to get up to go do whatever in their house, right? I just talked to somebody who was bedridden yesterday. And I asked her, because she messaged me on the program that I run. If you're not part of the Positive POTS community and program, go ahead and click that link in the description, 2 free weeks. But she just joined yesterday. She commented on one of the workouts or the step count that she's bedridden. I said to her, hey, I saw that you're bedridden. Can you give me a little bit more detail on your situation? Like, are you able to do things around the house? She ended up telling me that she does get up and she cleans when she has energy, and she does get up to go to the bathroom. She gets up to go to the kitchen, stuff like that. But for the most part, her husband does all this stuff. Great. That's awesome. The cool thing about your step count, right, is that you don't have to do it in one go. You can do it throughout the day. And what this does too is, in my experience, it gives you conditioning and being in an upright position at different points in the day. So if you only are able to get up for little bouts of time, you are able to get steps in. If you only are able to get up to go to the bathroom, you're still able to go get your steps in. This is so beneficial and something that not a lot of people think about, because you are able to get that conditioning in throughout the entire day. You are not stuck to just doing it in one stint. You're not stuck to just doing it in one stint of time. And it's not, you guys, sorry, I'm still dealing with phlegm from being sick. You don't have to just do it in one go, right? So that means that it's not that taxing on your nervous system. It's not that taxing on your body. It's a very low impact type of exercise that everybody has access to. And so now we get into the easily progressible part, right? The fact that it's easily progressive. So the fact that I'll read that in a second, Jazan. The fact that it's easily progressive, right? Or progressible. That means that you don't have to start at the step count that it starts at in my program starts at 2,500 steps. That seems like a lot. However, if you read the document on how to get started, you watch the video on how to get started, all that stuff, it tells you that you can start wherever you need to start at. And then once you get to that point, that's where you start progressing. Once you get to the 2,500, you start progressing. But anyway, if somebody's only able to get 50 steps a day, let's say, get the 50 steps a day. Then the next day get 75. Then the next day get 100. Then the next day get 125, or postpone it. Do it every 2 days is when you're progressing. Every 3 days is when you're progressing. The point being that it's easily progressible and you can do it over time. No matter what, you can progress on a step count. You absolutely can. It's not as taxing on your nervous system. It's not as taxing on your joints. It's not as taxing on your muscles, your body, anything. You can progress it easily. You can progress it easily. And how I tell people to like get their steps done is set a timer. Set a timer for every 30 minutes. Set a timer for every 20 minutes, every 45 minutes, every hour, whatever it is. And then you do 2 minutes of walking, 1 minute of walking, 3 minutes of walking, and you progress it over time. It's the easiest form of exercise to introduce into your day-to-day routine to get you more conditioned, even marginally, and to progress day to day. And that gets me to the point where it's not a formal not a formal form of conditioning or cardio, which is super important. A lot of people have this daunting look at formal conditioning and cardio, and that can become very discouraging. The fact that you feel like you need to do this type of cardio in order to get better. But in my experience, I've had more success starting people out with step counts when they're lower functioning than I have trying to get them to get on a recumbent bike. And I've done it both ways. Admittedly, I've done it both ways where I've had somebody who is literally bedbound. I'm like, dude, we got to get you on the bike at least. Can you get on the bike? But that was based on the knowledge that I had at the time. Now I'm thinking like, wow, steps do a lot more than we thought. Let's start out with steps. Let's start out with step counts. And so when people look at something and they say, oh my gosh, I have to do 20 minutes on a treadmill, I have to do 5-10 minutes on a treadmill, that can be very scary. But walking to your bathroom isn't too scary. You have to do it anyway. Walking to the refrigerator doesn't seem too scary. You have to do it anyway. So getting up and even just taking a few steps out of bed and then walking back to lay down, that doesn't seem as scary. That's still just getting your steps in, right? It's not a formal form of cardio. There's no time domain that you have to be stuck to in order to finish this cardio. It's just something that you get to do throughout the day, which is amazing, and it's a godsend. And you can work your way up. Like I said, it's easily progressible. It's accessible to everybody. You can work your way up from 30 seconds to 45 seconds to a minute 15 to a minute 30 to a minute 45. You get what I'm saying. It's easily accessible. It's easily progressible, and it's not a formal form of cardio. And I get it. For some people, walking is going to be daunting, right? But it's something that you have to do anyway. So you might as well count it. You might as well keep track of the metric, and then each day keep track of it even more. And just try to, like, when you go to your bathroom, try to go to your kitchen and then go to the bed, right? People don't think about these little details, and that's my job, right? People don't think about these little details that can add up big over time. So instead of just making your trip from your when you have to go pee, instead of making the trip just from your bed to the bathroom, now it's bed, bathroom, kitchen, bed. Bed, kitchen, bathroom, bed. That type of thing. So it's easily progressible. You can continue to do it. You can add more to it. Bed, kitchen, bathroom, living room, rest on the couch, living room, bathroom, bed. You get what I'm saying, right? This is one thing that you cannot argue that's possible. Someone just told me she couldn't be upright. Her doctor had her get a lying down home bike and do 2.5 minutes a day and add 2.5 minutes every week. And when she could do 30 minutes, she could walk. Man, I could go down so many rabbit holes with that specifically. I could go down so many rabbit holes with that. In one of the rabbit holes, I could be like very unkind with that. And I want to be kind. I'm really trying hard. I don't know if you guys have seen the evolution of my content. One of my like one-on-one clients told me that, there's been this evolution in you and the content, and it seems like you're trying to understand more. You're trying to be kinder. I'm always curious. I'm trying to use the right language. I don't know if I should be trying actively to use right language here. I'm always curious what the reason that somebody cannot be upright at all is. I'm always curious about that and this isn't me being unempathetic or sympathetic. This is me just having genuine questions, because in practice, what I have seen a lot of times, the reason that people can't be upright is because of, I might get so much hate for this, because of fear, right? Because I've had people like that. I've had people like that where they couldn't be upright because of what if this happens, or they have so much anxiety that they can't stand up. Like a lot of these people who have become bedridden, and stuff. It's a terrible situation. I'm not saying that it's not legit. It definitely is legit. But a lot of these people who have become bedridden have never passed out, which is the interesting thing, right? And that's from data that I've gathered. You guys can't argue what I have written on paper from people, right? That they haven't passed out. They don't have any like severe medical whatever. So my question is always, why aren't we able to get upright? If it is the fact that you've passed out or the fact that, you've been really, really close to passing out, I always want to know. Because, hey, Jazan, did you by chance get to talk to the person if they, or ask the person if they're able to get themselves to the bathroom, or how they do that, how they end up getting themselves to the bathroom or not? I'm in MECFS group, so they get seizures, PM. Okay, so I'm talking about strictly just people who have POTS. There's nothing else, like just POTS. There's nothing else, behind it. So maybe I should have prefaced my whole thing with that. I'm not talking about people that have like other diagnoses as well, because everyone that I've talked to that only has POTS, not that it's an only or that it's not, it's not unfortunate. They don't have that type of stuff, Oof, they pee in a bedpan. That's rough. Yeah. Hold on, guys. Yeah, that's tough. And I could see how that could be a really big issue. And I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on that stuff whatsoever. I've worked with a lot of people with CF and all that. So I've worked with a lot of people with, more than just the POTS diagnosis, but I've never dealt with anybody that like literally could not, that was having seizures or like legitimately passing out. Most of the people that I've worked with that have POTS and stuff have never had a pass out experience. They're always just scared they're always scared to pass out, things of that nature. My girlfriend, she works in hospital. She's a PA. She actually she has never seen somebody with POTS actually pass out either. It's always the fear. It's always the fear of passing out. That's usually the biggest thing. So I'm talking mainly about people who have only POTS, who haven't passed out, stuff like that. So maybe I should have treaded waters a little bit differently there. And that's why I was like, ooh, I think I'm going to get hate, but whatever. We'll see. I don't even know where I was going, to be honest with you, with that. There's so many different levels of dysautonomia POTS, so many different levels, and what other medical conditions can come with these issues for few. Yeah, absolutely. There's a ton. There's a whole spectrum of that. Absolutely. I agree with that for sure. I definitely agree with that. But the thing that I'm concerned mostly about, you were giving us hope that you can start with low step counts. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah. So with the step count thing, look, I don't want it to I don't want it to seem like it's just hope, because I've actually done it in practice with people. This isn't something that I'm spouting out, telling you guys like maybe this would work. This might be a good strategy. This is something that I'm telling you that I have legitimate experience with. I have taken people from, the bedridden state, or at least, prone bound, right? We can call it that, maybe like seated, and taken them to like the gym from starting with step counts. I've had a lot of success with just the step count strategy. And so if you're somebody who's just dealing with POTS, you're not dealing with seizures or anything like that, whatever, then yeah, step counts, if you're bed bound or if you are, you can't. Does the audio sound okay? If you're bed bound and stuff like that, starting with a step count is a great start, an absolute great start. And once you get, I like to say, again, remember when I told you guys that you can look at my content and you can figure out all this stuff for free. I like to say that 5K steps is a very, very good spot to start experimenting with cardio conditioning formal types and trying to do more at one time. In my experience, there's no data. I want to make that super clear. But in my experience, I have seen that be a very good spot to start doing formal cardio and to start trying to get out and do daily life, to do normal daily life. I've seen that be a very, very good spot to be. Example, if somebody already has low blood pressure, that can add a whole new world of issues, whole different host of issues. Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. My whole thing still with all of this is low blood pressure, POTS, get to the root cause. Get to the root cause. Exercise does decrease blood pressure. Like, it makes your blood pressure lower. But for people in this situation, most times it's not going to do anything like marginal, because if you have low blood pressure, it's likely that you're not like wildly overweight. That type of thing, especially when you have POTS, right? Like, actually my blood pressure with POTS manifested being high. So lucky me, I've been 160 over 100 for 30 years. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of things that go that could make your blood pressure high, right? What if the root cause is virus? What do you mean by that exactly? Oh, okay. So if the root cause is virus, so I mean, like, when you have low blood pressure, what's the reason for blood pressure? I'm not talking specifically about POTS. In my experience, if your POTS was caused by a virus, because I've had a lot of people that have post-COVID POTS, I've worked with a lot of them. It seems to be that you have to do the same things that you do no matter how you got POTS. No matter how. Now, there's a couple different things. If your white blood cell count, like, now we could get into like the whole blood marker stuff. If your white blood cell count is low, you have to figure out why. Or if it's high, you have to figure out why. So if you have a virus that's been lingering for a long time, then it needs a little bit more intervention than just like exercising, right? Like, you have to figure out what nutrients can I take in order to clear the virus, or do I need to take an antibiotic to clear the virus so I can start making progress? There's a lot that goes into that specifically. Thankfully, I haven't had anybody that has had lingering viral infection in their bloodstream, like measurable bloodstream virus, right? Like, I've only had people that are like post-COVID. I got post-COVID POTS. I've had that. And it seems that you just treat it the same way that you treat any other onset of POTS. I have a video on my YouTube channel that addresses like, how did I get POTS? And in that video, I say, it doesn't matter to me how I got POTS. It's treating the POTS. It's treating the symptoms. That's what really matters. Because again, in my experience, it doesn't matter how you got it. You just have to treat it, right? And that's just my experience. There could be like, maybe there's a faster intervention. Maybe there is, but I don't know it. And I haven't seen anything for it. 100%. My symptoms have gotten worse since 2021, since 2-week bout of COVID. But at the same time, I was self-destructed due to becoming more sedentary, due to not wanting. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Body makes adaptations. And so one thing that I do ask people to get, I guess I'll give you guys this game too, right? Is I always ask people to get a CBC. I ask people if they can get homocysteine checked and histamine checked. And then not everybody on their CBC white blood cell count is included for some reason. So I ask people to do that as well, just to see if there's any other reason that this stuff could be happening. The other test that I ask people to get, if they're willing to get, is a gene report, so self-decode. I ask people to get something like that to see if there's any other issues that we might be dealing with. And there's if you want to get in the weeds, there's a lot of other blood tests that you can ask people to get. And that's something that more recently, I've been like really paying high attention to, and there's a lot of success with that too. Blood markers, I think that a lot of people are kind of But I think that most people don't have to do that type of stuff. I have people fill out this report. My one-on-one clients, I have people fill out this report of their symptomology, where I ask them questions, and not just not just in relation to POTS, but it's like, do you have a hard time paying attention? Have you always had a hard time paying attention? Do you feel anxiety inside, but it doesn't manifest outside? Like a bunch of stuff, right? A bunch of different questions I ask people to get more data. I'm trying to collect a database of all these things to see what they're see if they're similar, see if there's like another portion of this, a root cause portion of this that maybe people aren't really addressing. It seems to be like the data is trending in the right way. So obviously I'm not going to share it with, a whole bunch of people. Like I'm not going to go through the reports with you guys or anything, or going through the check-ins with you guys. But it seems to be that some of this has to do with some stuff that I've been curious about. At least it looks that way. I'm not a doctor. I hope that one day I can bring that stuff to somebody who's trained, in the avenues that I want to kind of take this direction. But yeah. So I think it's always valuable to have more data than less too, right? More data than none. Are there any reasons for not increasing steps for a week, or to maybe decrease it temporarily? Yeah. Yep. That's a really good question. It's a very good question. Let me go pee and I'll answer that. All right. Okay. Are there any reasons for not increasing steps for a week, or to maybe even decrease it? So I wouldn't say that there are reasons to decrease steps. I don't think so. I don't think that you should decrease the steps. And I'm also not sure that you should not increase steps, because again, increasing steps is very low impact. It's not going to cause a big stressor to your body, to your nervous system, anything like that. It's probably the least impactful type of exercise when it comes to stress that you can do. So I wouldn't say that there's any reason to really to hold back or to decrease or stuff like that. But what I will say is that if you your steps at one time, there could be reason for it. Like, I just had a client of mine who asked if he could go on a hike with his cousin in, because he lives in a state where there's, hiking trails or whatever. And I said, yeah, I would just be kind of cautious as to how long you go, not just because of steps, but also because it's nearing summer and stuff like that. And if you're going to be in the wild or whatever, just stuff like that. So, and he's on the other side of his recovery, I would say. So my only thing would be like, yeah, so if you notice that you walked for an hour and it really tuckered you out, really pooped you out, then maybe you still have some time that you need to build up your tolerance. So maybe pulling back on that hour walk type of situation would be a good idea. But otherwise, no, not really. I think it's like a good thing to always be increasing your step volume, because again, it's not very taxing on you. It doesn't really, create any sort of systemic fatigue or fatigue in general. So I don't really see any negatives to it. Even if it makes you a little bit tired, I don't really see any negatives to it. Yeah, that was a good question, though, Jazan. That was a very good question. I've had that question asked a couple times, actually. Yeah, what is a good max step to just maintain? In my experience with people, it kind of varies, but the good average seems to be around 8K to 10K. And when you've been able to maintain that for a while and your exercise tolerance and volume is up, you can pull back on that. That's what I've noticed. So for example, let's say that you've gotten to 8 to 10K, but you don't really do much like formal cardio. And again, you guys, like, I'm going to put you on game. The place where I see most progress and most progress that I see with people, and most, I don't want to say that they're in remission, but like the place where I find people to be in the best spot is normally like around 60 to 80 minutes of formal cardio in a week. That's generally where I see most of the actual, like the most beneficial spot to be. That's what I have seen is 60 to 80 minutes of formal cardio a week, low intensity, steady state that doesn't count towards your step goal, and then 8 to 10K steps. But then the real stuff begins to happen when you're able to bring in weightlifting and you're able to build some muscle and you're able to tolerate weightlifting. That's where I really see some of this magic starting to happen, where you can then pull back on some of the formal cardio and some of the steps. So like, obviously I'm always going to tell you, I think that 8 to 10K steps is a really good spot to be in for the rest of your life. It's a really easy goal, to be honest with you. It's just people get lazy, and people, like, especially when people like get to the point where they feel like they're in remission from POTS, they get a little lazy. They stop doing all this stuff because they're like, well, I'm better. But no, this is like a lifestyle thing now. This is a lifestyle habit that you should probably keep up, that type of thing. So I think 8 to 10K steps, anywhere between 60 to 80 minutes of formal cardio per week. Unless you're doing CrossFit, the things kind of change because intensity drives results type thing. And so, yeah. Does that answer your question? 8 to 10K, 60 to 80 minutes. When you get to being able to exercise normally and you still hold on to a baseline of cardio, that's when you can kind of pull back on the step count, I think. But I wouldn't recommend pulling back on the step count. I think you should always kind of keep it where it is. So again, guys, this is like from what I have seen, from what I have experienced, Dang, good questions in the chat today. Great questions, Jazan. Would you have a lowest max step count from pulling back on it? The step count thing is like new to me, right? Like this has probably been the progression of 6 months that I've like really realized the importance of steps. So I don't quite have that yet because I haven't, the majority of my clients have been without step counts to be real with you, because I've been doing this for like 2 years now with POTS people. So the majority of the clients that I've worked with have been without step counts. And so now I'm very, very numbers driven, right? Like I want to know that I can give you decent advice via the numbers that I've collected. And so I don't really have a pullback because a lot of the clients that I initially, helped and got results with, they didn't have a step count goal at all. And they're not like super like, well, now they're very active. They're very active, but they don't make it a point to get steps in. Some of them do now. Some of them do. Like I've had a few clients go on and do 75 hard, and they probably have step counts on their own type thing. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't have a recommendation for that, unfortunately. Do you care if somebody would choose to do cardio only or strength training or predominantly, and which one would you prefer? Wow, that's a hard question to answer. I'll always prefer strength training in general than I will prefer cardio, because with strength training, you can also like legitimate strength training, right? Like weight bearing exercises, not just like calisthenics. I'll always prefer that because you can add an aerobic aspect to weightlifting in terms of like, or in the way that you can shorten the rest, and that can get you really breathy because the rest is short. You can do things like EMOMs, which is like you're every minute on the minute you're doing something. So you get short rest. You might only be able to rest like 30 seconds because on the next minute you have to do your reps again. So there's so many ways and so many modalities to make weightlifting more aerobic plus anaerobic. However, I think that especially when starting with POTS, the trick is being able to get to that point. That's what the trick is to be able to get to the point of being able to do anaerobic exercise. So I would prefer that people start by building an aerobic base, by doing cardio to build that aerobic base first, because that's likely what is going to get them through the door to be able to start doing anaerobic fitness, to be able to start weightlifting and doing weight bearing exercises. That's what I would prefer people start with doing. After that, once you've gotten to a place where it's like you're in remission basically, and like, you don't really have much symptoms and you feel good, then yeah, if you had to choose between the two, I would say anaerobic exercise, because especially when equating for intensity, if you're somebody who's driving very tough sets into your workout program, like you're doing drop sets, you're training to failure semi-regularly, you're maybe keeping rest intervals short, things of that nature, it becomes an aerobic workout just by chance too. So yeah, I think there's utility to that. I think that I would prefer the person, if they had to choose, just do anaerobic exercise, but try to make it aerobic in some sense. I hope that makes sense. Jazan, come in with the fire today. Let's see if I can. I can't do anything. I wish it would like let you do reactions and stuff. That would be sick. Yeah, Jazan, come in with the fire questions today. Satsuko, some days I feel all I can do is strength training, which raises heart rate as well, but it's still movement. Yeah, for sure. For sure that I could see that. Well, that's interesting actually, that you feel like you could do strength training over aerobic exercise. Akar, what's up, dude? How are you feeling, man? Hope you're feeling good, or at least a little bit better. Hope work is going well today. Jazan, why calisthenics over strength training? I need to build a lot of strength before push-ups with elevated feet, or handstand push-ups are handstand push-ups are too easy, or before I can even do. No. I don't know if maybe if you're saying the question wrong or if I described it wrong. I would rather people weightlift than do calisthenics. That's what I would rather do. That's what I would rather have. Handstand push-ups are too easy. A car, a little better, man. Thankfully, trying to manage how much exercise I should do while working. Took today off, though. All right. Yeah, keep it light. Just do what you can manage to do for sure. I'll be here when you need it, man. I'm here for you when you need it. Yeah, Jazan, I would rather people weightlift than do calisthenics. When it comes to strength training, okay, you said it wrong. Got it. Yeah, I would rather people do strength training over calisthenics for the reason that because it's more okay. So not that these things don't happen when you do calisthenics, but for the most part, they don't happen at the same level or frequency, right? So when you are weightlifting, a lot. No, you mean calisthenics is heavy too. Okay, so yeah, okay. So there's a couple angles that I can take this from then. With weightlifting, your body goes through a bunch of different functions, right? A bunch of different I know people say calisthenics it gets too light. It's not for everybody. It gets too light too quick. Look, if you have to start with push-ups and air squats and stuff like that, I have no problem with that. That's definitely how you need to start it off. I'm talking about like long-term, what you should be doing is probably weightlifting, not calisthenics. And so the reason why is because your body goes through a whole bunch of different physiological effects, basically, right? So when you are bearing weight on your back to do a back squat, you are creating total body tension. You are raising blood pressure. Your heart rate's going faster. And then you have to go down and you have to come back up. That does a whole lot of different stuff for I was going to say muscle spindles, but I mean, yeah, but also no. But it does a whole bunch of different things, right? It takes you through different regulation of heart rate, blood pressure, all this stuff. And does calisthenics do that as well? Yeah, kind of, but not to the same degree. So not only are we trying to get the effect of like muscle building, which is a little bit more efficient with weightlifting because you're able to make progressions over time. You're able to increase load over time, and you can do that stuff with calisthenics, but it gets to a point where like you just can't add any more weight on your back for a push-up, right? You just cannot add any more weight to your back during a push-up. And you can only put so many like weighted vests on for air squats type of thing. And so when you go in the gym, you have so many different places that you can start from. So if you're a person who like can't do squats yet, okay, you can do leg press. If you can't do leg press yet, you can do leg extensions. Everyone can do a leg extension. Not everybody can like stand up for 5 minutes and do squats. Not everybody can stand up for 10 minutes and do lunges, that type of thing. So there's options. There's ways to scale a workout. There's ways to make it so that it's more accessible to you. But again, we're talking about also the blood pressure changes that your body goes through, the heart rate changes that your body goes through, the physiological adaptations that are made when you do weightlifting, the insulin response that you have from weightlifting, like a whole host of stuff that you get benefits from weightlifting. Chances of hypertrophy are higher. You make strength adaptations. Not that you don't when you're doing calisthenics. You make strength adaptations, but can't really make it to the same degree. Calisthenics can get too light for sure. And okay, so let's touch on this. Calisthenics can get too light, but the way that you increase load or tension via calisthenics is by learning new skills. And simply put, like most people than not are not going to go out and learn new skills for calisthenics, right? So like a lot of people aren't going to go and learn how to do a bar muscle up because they're just not going to do that. A lot of people aren't going to learn how to do ring muscle ups. People just aren't going to do that. A lot of people aren't going to learn how to do flips around the bar, so like that's the reason why I think that's another reason to add why I think that weightlifting is more beneficial than just calisthenics. Do I think that everybody should have control over their body, their own body weight? Absolutely. I always start kids off with calisthenic type exercises, and then we progress fairly fast into weightlifting because weightlifting will help you have control over your body. But so I think there's utility in it. I just don't think it's as beneficial long term. I used to lift really heavy. After I reconditioned down, I had to use more steps and cardio-based stuff to prep for lifting again. I couldn't just go straight into lifting because it was too much. Yep. Yeah, see? Even Mick Saltsy says it. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel. I got to hop on a new client consult soon. Here's what you got into last week. 1 video and 6 live streams. That's what I did. 507 people tuned in, and I got 20 new subscribers last week. Here's how people found you. YouTube home, YouTube search, channel pages. This is what they watched. My reel, heat exposure and pot syndrome live, and my most popular video. Let's play a game. What's the second most popular location? I'm going to say United Kingdom. Oh, I got it right. Nice. YouTube Studio lets you play this game at the end of every week. Yes. Mick Saltsy, you need to do videos. Those videos that you're posting in our group, just put them onto YouTube. My number one, how they found me is shorts, and I only have 2 shorts. Dude, yeah. My girlfriend posts shorts of her literally just doing pull-ups or like snatching, and she gets subscribers just from that. And for me, it's like, I want to post shorts, but like, I'm so like, and I started a TikTok for a while too. Not for a while, for like a whole week. And I wanted to like post like memes, like positive memes about pots, but it's just tough. Like, I like to come on and do this. I like to create videos once in a while. I don't know. Shorts, I know, are the game changer. Shorts are the thing. TikTok is the thing. I know that. 100% know that. But then it's like, I don't know if my shorts, like if my videos could... Okay, here we go. This is exactly what I was just going to question. I post a small part of a video with a good tip. Okay. Because I was just going to say, I don't know if my videos are shortable, I don't know if they're consumable in a short. Like, how would I make a short out of it? I just like, I don't know. I'm also like, I get paralysis by analysis. Like, I just think about things too much. I'm like, no, that's not going to work for you. But I guess I'm wrong. I could definitely be wrong. It doesn't happen often, but I am wrong sometimes. I hope you guys realize that's a joke. Somebody commented on my last video, doesn't alcohol dehydrate and this will make pots worse? Because I think yesterday I talked about that I used to drink, but I think they kind of missed the ship on the fact that I used to drink alcohol, not that I continually drink alcohol. I've been sober for 2 years. My other YouTube channel, guys, I posted a video on Christianity and the war on Christianity, and I am getting hate comments. How do you guys deal with hate comments if you post anything, or maybe even just like hate in your life? How do you guys deal with that? My thing is this. I don't care. I don't care. Even like the people who say you don't actually have pots, I don't care. The only reason why I addressed that last time, was because I wanted to make sure that people don't think I'm lying. Has anyone shared with you how they keep their motivation to walk up other than willpower? Okay, do you guys want my view and my opinion on willpower and motivation and stuff? This is going to be like Big Brothery. Ignore the hate and let them deal with their own issues themselves. Yeah, 100% with that. I don't care. I think people who feel like I genuinely, I do not care. I think I called one dude a nerd. I literally just commented back nerd because I think the people who are willing to take time out of their day to leave hate comments, I'm baffled by it. There's so many things on YouTube that I see, like the red pill, that I don't like it at all, that I still don't feel the need to comment on it. Like, it has no bearing on my life that I feel the need to comment. Like, it's so weird that people feel this impulse to comment on things like that they don't agree with or that they don't like. In my opinion, it's like, why don't you make a video about it? Like, grab your balls and make a video about it if you don't agree with it, right? It's like, it's so much easier to take time out of your day to put somebody down or to comment on something but they're the ones willing to actually put themselves out there with their thoughts and their beliefs and what they're saying. They have balls enough to like go out and say it, in public. But you, being the small person that you are, comment hate behind an avatar or with no profile picture or with no content. How small of a man must you be? And I mostly have a problem when men do this stuff. How small of a man must you be that you feel the need to comment? You don't make a video. You don't even have a profile picture. You don't have any content. You feel the need to comment on something? Like, what's wrong with you? It's just so weird. Nerd. If you did something wrong, then reflect or put feedback in my back pocket. But if it's wrong, then it's like saying you have purple hair when I don't have it. I don't even respond. Right. Yeah. It's like clear, like a lot of this too. The reason why it's just so weird to me is because a lot of the hate comments and respond with kindness. Yeah. I respond. I've tried that. I respond with kindness. Sometimes I don't even respond at all because it's just such a waste of time. Lately, I've been commenting back simply because more comments, the more that it's pushing the algorithm. I notice the more the more that I comment back, the more comments that I get, the more it gets pushed into the algorithm, the more views it will get inherently. So that's part of the reason why I comment back. But also I want to make it like, I think the state that the internet is in is weird. That people just, again, they assume that they can say whatever they want. Like, it's just weird because like 20 years ago when I was a teenager, no, like 15 years ago when I was a teenager, I would just punch you in the face. Like that, it's that simple. Like 15 years ago when I was a teenager, I would just punch you in the face and we'd get it over with. But the state that the internet is in is that people just don't have to be held responsible. And it doesn't piss me off. It doesn't make me mad or anything like that. But it's like commenting with kindness sometimes just like is like, I don't need to comment with like kindness or hate. Sometimes it's just like a snarky comment back. It's like, because the one dude was like, said something about like, I am the majority, but I am the victim. It's like, so all I really said was like, You didn't even watch. Dude feels the need to comment on a video he didn't watch. Nerd. That's it. Because he clearly didn't watch it. Based on his comment, he clearly did not watch it. So I don't know if that's kind or not. But I agree. Most times, kill him with kindness. Turn the other cheek, kill him with kindness. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I think that people just need to kind of feel and sit in their own crap. Does that make sense? Anyway, Jazan and everybody else that's in here, Jazan posted something. She said in the chat, has anyone shared with you how they keep their motivation to walk up other than willpower? So do you guys want to hear my legitimate thoughts on willpower and motivation and accomplishing things? Because this one's not going to be very kind. It's not going to be very empathetic or sympathetic to anyone. It's not going to be empathetic or sympathetic to anybody, even myself. Comment back, nothing but emojis. Yeah, that works. That pisses people off. That works. Okay. Check this out. Has anyone shared with you how they keep their motivation to walk up other than willpower, right? Jazan, I know you prefer it the kind way. I understand that, but there's not really a kind way to put this. At least I don't have the vocabulary for it, nor do I have the personality that can be kind in this situation. So again, I'm going to start from the same place that I always start from. And that is, if you're not willing to make the change, the thing must not be that bad. If you're not willing to make the change, your experience must not be that bad, or at least your perceived experience must not be that bad. You must not be so fed up with your situation that you have to rely on your willpower in order to make the changes or to do said task. You must not be in the right mind state. And people are going to make excuses all the time. This is my excuse. I'm too tired today. I can't get up and take 2 steps out of my bed. I don't have the motivation to do it. I don't care about your motivation. By this point, if you are really hurting and you really are fed up with your situation, there should not be a point in time where you don't feel motivated to make your circumstance better. Quit the bullshit of motivation and I don't have it, so I can't do this thing. Do you think anybody gets better relying on willpower or motivation? Willpower is fleeting, dude. There's studies on it where willpower, you only have so much. So then what do you have to rely on then? Motivation? Why motivation? It's a fleeting emotion as anything else. You can be happy, you can be sad, you can be angry, you can be depressed. Guess what? All those things are fleeting. They stop at some point. You're not consistently going to be happy through life. So all the things that you do to make you happy, do you just stop them when you're not happy? Is that how you stop them when you're not? Do you just stop doing the things? Like, do you stop cutting your grass because it's no longer making you happy? No, you cut your grass because you have to cut this freaking grass, right? Discipline. Discipline is where all this comes in. You don't just do things just like we live in a society where everything is so, I need it now. I need to be happy consistently. Everything is about happiness. Life is not about happiness. I'm sorry, people, but the majority of your life, you're going to be let down. The majority of your life, you're going to run into trials and tribulations. It's not about being happy. It's about doing the things consistently that make you happy, even when you're not happy doing them, because you know it's good for you, because you know that that is the thing that makes you happy ultimately. So you continue to do it. How do you do that? It's built off of discipline, and it's built off of reps, and it's built off of what's it called? Not discipline. It's built off of reps, and it's built off of habit. Things become habit. I don't come on live 5 days a week because I enjoy it every single time. I have now built this habit into my lifestyle. And guess what? When I don't do it on a Tuesday, that might the next week roll into I'm not going to do it on Wednesday either. And that might roll into I'm not going to do it on Thursday. So instead, I just keep doing it. I just do it. It's a part of my daily routine. It's a part of what I need to do to accomplish my goals. I see the numbers at 947 subscribers. It might be 948 right now. It's at 947. Do I want to get on live every single day? No. Do I do it because I have to and because I need to and because I have people that look to me to come on every single day? That's the reason that I do it. I don't do it because I want to. I don't do it because I have the willpower. I don't do it because I'm motivated to do it every day. Motivation's fleeting. It comes and it goes. It's never going to be consistent. The amount of motivation you have is never going to be consistent. Having motivation in general is not always going to be there. You do it because it's a habit that you've built, because it's something that's going to push you forward. And it takes reps, and you build this muscle. But we are so stuck and weak with this Western mindset of everything needs to be done because you like it. Everything needs to be done because you get off from it somehow. We have to quit this, especially if you're sick, especially if you're broke, especially if you're depressed. If you're broke and spending money gives you that dopamine rush, well, you're going to continue being broke. You're going to continue being broke. If you're broke and you work a crappy job that doesn't pay you anything, and when you leave, all you do is Netflix and chill, you have no right to complain about being broke, especially as a man. Let me keep it G. If you have a crappy job that doesn't pay you nothing and you're broke and you go home and you watch Netflix, you watch YouTube, even me, if you're watching me, if you play video games, if you beat your dick, you have no reason to complain. You should be going home and you should be figuring out what you can do to make more money, making more skills, developing more skills, posting on YouTube about developing your skill, whatever it is, something, progress. You have no right to sit there and watch Netflix and complain about being broke. If you're sick and you're not willing to do the things that you know are going to help, that have been proven to help you, you have no right to complain. Zero right. Now, if you're doing all the things and your circumstances aren't changing, there's a place to be empathetic there. There's a place for empathy. But the fact of the matter is, most people, when they're complaining about not getting better and their circumstances being crappy, they're not being honest about doing all the things. They're not. Oh, man. So remembering the goal and seeing it as non-negotiable and making it a habit. Absolutely. So I'm shooting for making the habits fit people, like keeping a raincoat by the door to make it less of a struggle to convince yourself to go outside when it rains. Yes, 100%. Dude, it's not about convincing yourself. In my opinion, it's about forcing yourself to face fear and face the unknown and face what's hard regardless. You don't let your brain consider it. You just do it. Yes, dude. Yes. I fear wet pants. Well, just go to the bathroom. Don't pee yourself. Making those videos will be helpful for people to prep, though. That's awesome. Look, dude. Look. The other issue is that like people just like don't set themselves up for success. And this gets me so mad. And I try to be empathetic and I try not to call people idiots and I try not to call people low IQ. If you're sick or you're fat or whatever your circumstance is, dude, if you like, oh my gosh, dude, like if you're an alcoholic and you're recovering, don't go hang out with your friends at the bar. Like, it's that simple. You're setting yourself up for failure. If you're sick or you're obese, don't keep cookies in the house. Whoa. You get what I'm saying? Don't put cookies in the house. That's setting yourself up for failure. If you're sick, that is setting yourself up for success, not putting the cookies in the house. By not setting yourself up for failure, you are by the inverse is that you're setting yourself up for success, at least some success. So setting yourself up for success when you're sick would be setting the timer for every 30 minutes so that you can get up and do the walk from your bed to the bathroom and back. That's setting yourself up for success. Making your environment conducive to what you need. This is literally the reason why I don't go hang out with some of my degenerate friends anymore, because the environment that you're in does so much and says so much about what your goals are, and the people that you surround yourself will dictate what your success level is, right? Somebody said to me the other day, it was a woman, one of my friends. She goes, men have a higher capability of cheating on women. I was triggered by that for a minute because I've never been a cheater. I've never been a liar. And then I took a step back and I was like, you know what? You're right. You're right. And it may not be that they'll actually physically cheat, but, right? It may not be that they would actually physically cheat. But the thing is that if a man and a woman are in a bar, right? Even if a man loves his girlfriend, but if a hot girl comes up to the guy and she's like, just throwing herself at him, the guy's going to be like, should I risk it all? Like, should I risk it all? She's really hot. Should I risk it all? A woman has an easier time if she really loves her man being like, F off and flipping the dude off and telling him to get away, right? But the guy is going to be like, should I risk it all? It's at least going to go through his head. Whether it's real or not, it's going to go through his head really quick. And so I go, hey, why do you think I don't go out drinking with my friends anymore? Because I'm not going to put myself in a compromised position. I know that I would never cheat, even if that scenario came to me. But I'm not going to give myself the opportunity to be put in a compromised position. And I think about that with everything in my life. The problem is people want results without doing the work. People want the results without doing the work. So the motivation thing, right? The motivation. You want the results, but you're waiting for the motivation to happen. Why? Just start. Motivation comes from confidence, and confidence is built over watching yourself do the thing over and over and over again to know that you are competent, You can trust yourself. But many people don't trust themselves. I wonder why. And it's a inner thing, right? A lot of people think that they trust themselves, but they don't. So many people don't even trust their own words when they say, I'm going to do this thing, because they haven't proved it to themselves. And why would you trust yourself? Nobody else would trust you. You've always let people down. You've always let yourself down. Why would you trust yourself? You have to build the confidence in yourself to be motivated, to be disciplined. How do you do it? By being disciplined. In every aspect of life. It's just mind-blowing to me how many people will make excuses when they haven't even exercised discipline. Hey man, it's been a month. That I've been doing these things. You're a pussy. A month? 1 month. And you think that you should have the results that you're looking for? You've been disciplined for a month, dude. You looked at a cookie yesterday. That's not extreme discipline. What are you talking? You considered buying the cookies and putting them in. What are you talking about? You've been disciplined in the fact that you haven't eaten the cookie, you haven't touched the cookie. What a pussy. 4 weeks, and you think that you're deserving? 4 weeks out of the 31 years that you've lived. You've sacrificed 4 weeks. 4 weeks out of 31 years. And you think that's discipline? Come on now. Give me a break. Whew. Thanks, Jazan. Oh, man. Yes, more of those examples. I love that for inspiration. What examples? Which ones? I didn't read any of that while I was going off. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I could go on for hours, guys. I could go on for literally hours about this type of stuff. I could go on for hours about motivation and about discipline and the lack of discipline and people lying about their discipline. And I could go on for hours about talking about self-talk and how a lot of you guys don't take yourself serious enough. And that, that was literally the podcast that we did this morning, was that people don't take themselves seriously enough. So yeah, they're not going to trust themselves. Like it's just like, it's crazy. And that there's a time and place for sure. Like you shouldn't always take yourself so seriously, but you also shouldn't take yourself as a joke either, because eventually that stuff turns into reality. The comments that you make at your own expense become real at some point, and you start believing those narratives. And when you treat yourself as a joke, you open the door and the floodgates for everyone else to treat you like you're the clown of the town. Like a timer for 30 minutes to walk every 30 minutes. And you mentioned another thing that helps you take steps in daily. Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, look, I have this thing on my watch. It went away, and it tells me when to stand up. That's something. So how do you build habits? It's really freaking easy, man. It's just you have to be willing to do it. Like you have to be willing to do it, right? But people just convince themselves. Like I say this all the time. Dude, people are liars. People convince themselves of stories about themselves all the time. It's so cringe. I am a hard worker. I am this. I do this. And it's like, okay, when you go to work, like you're a hard worker, but when work is done, you're done working, right? And like some people are like, I need to enjoy my life. There needs to be a balance. But you're also complaining about not having enough money. But you're such a hard worker, and work stops after 5 o'clock for you. And you're the first one rushing out of the office. You're the first one to deny overtime. Like I just don't get it, dude. I don't get it. And the other thing is like this, dude. People don't realize that like nobody gives a shit about what you say. Nobody cares. At least people who are really like trying to accomplish things. Like I don't like if one of my friends tells me that they want to start a business, I don't care. Like dude, you've yapped your dick suckers enough time. I don't care that you're telling me that you want to do this thing. Show me that you want to do it. I could care less about what you're telling me. Show me. Like, because you've said this a million times. And low key, a lot of you feel the same about yourself. A lot of you guys feel the same way that I just said about yourself. You're like, yeah, I want to lose weight. Nah, dude, you don't mean that. You've said this a million times. You've said this a million times that you want to lose weight, and you keep letting us down. You keep letting us down, right? Which is you're letting yourself down. So you don't actually want to do it. Like, you don't even believe yourself, bro. You don't even believe yourself. I forget that I had a goal, so I need a big reminder in the house that I see multiple times a day. That's good. Yeah, see, Jazan, that goes back to what we were talking about before, right? You're setting yourself up for success. You're creating an environment that's conducive to your goals that you want. That's exactly what you need to do. But a lot of people aren't going to do that. They say that they want this thing. They say they want to get better, but they're not doing things like that. It's like people that like we talked about it yesterday, right? People that really want things, you're going to see it. You're going to see that they really want the thing because they do things like you, Jazan. And this was the philosophical debate, by the way, that you said that you think people can want something without doing the things necessary. But you are practicing the opposite, my friend. You're practicing the opposite. You're doing the thing that I was talking about. You're doing the thing that I was talking about. You're setting yourself up for success. And you're actively showing that you want the thing. I haven't eaten today. That's probably why I feel weird right now. Probably why I feel high. Oh, man. Yes, but I get the idea from other people. That's okay. It doesn't matter where you get the idea from. You're still doing it. You're still doing it. I'm not the first ever YouTuber, right? Neither are you. We're not the first YouTubers. We got that idea from somebody else. But the fact is that we're the ones doing it. Yeah, dude, you got to eat. Not eating makes me even more jacked than I already am naturally. Yeah, 100%. I feel like I'm on freaking Adderall right now, especially because I drank a coffee while having an empty stomach. So I feel like I could go. If there's a tornado here right now, I could Hercules that mug. I could grab it by the bottom and just throw it. All right. Well, I hope that you guys liked my little rant there. Hopefully it didn't, I'm not going to say hopefully it didn't turn anybody off. It doesn't matter to me, to be completely real. It doesn't matter. It's the truth. I'm speaking what I truly believe. So, it's like, for real, it's facts. Like, people just let themselves down constantly every single day, and then they try to paint a different narrative, to other people. Like, I'm such a hard worker. I do this, I do that. But like every single time you say you're going to do something, you don't do it, and you let yourself down. And then other people see that, over time. And the reason why I can say things like that is because I used to be that person. I used to say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to be a millionaire, I'm going to do that. But then it's like, I never did anything to be that. So, and I let myself down. So I stopped believing it. And then I had a real talk in the mirror one day, like legitimately that like cringe thing that you hear people say is like, you're going to have to look yourself in the mirror and talk about, and ask yourself if you're really the person that you say you are. And I had that talk, and it was 2 years ago. And I realized I'm not the guy that I was saying, that I've been saying that I am. I need to make a shift. Actually, it was 3.5 years ago. And then I did it. And what did I do from there? Because I'm not the person that I say that I am. So what do? Personal development. So I read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Daniel Carnegie. Is that who that book is by? I don't know. More recently, I read the book Outwitting the Devil because I needed more guidance type thing. I've been reading the Bible. Actually, I'm not going to lie about that. I have not recently been reading the Bible. I go to church once in a while. But there's so many different things, right? Like, I had that conversation with myself 3.5 years ago. Like, are you actually the man that you say you are? Are you actually doing the things that you say you are? Are you doing the virtues that you say you are? And there's a lot of my pieces in my life that I was being true to the things that I was saying. But there was a whole lot of stuff that I wasn't being true to the things that I was saying too. And it sucks. That's a terrible conversation to have with yourself. And so many people don't want to do it because it's so uncomfortable. It sucks to look yourself in the mirror and be like, dude, you suck. And you're lying. It sucks. But when you're able to do that, when you can have that come into Jesus moment, it's amazing. I know about people sleeping in gym clothes to work out in the morning. Yeah, I do that. I sleep in what I'm going to work out in the next day, unless it's too hot. Like today, I wore Lululemon pants to work out and all that, but it's too hot, so I gotta put shorts on. I also like the reward system of having smaller goals and celebrating with small gifts to yourself when you get them, or just bask in the achievement feeling of checking the box. Yeah. If that works for you, definitely do it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with doing that if that works. All right, guys. I have to get off of this live. I hope you did like it. If you did enjoy it and you haven't yet, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you're not a part of the training program or the app and you want 2 free weeks, go ahead, hit that link in my description. You get 2 weeks for free. It's a positive POTS community, positive POTS forum where we just talk about all things POTS in a positive way. There's no negativity, no hyper focus on symptoms and things of that nature, nothing negative. And it's just people who can relate to you and can help you out, help you through it. You get your workout program in there. You get guidance on nutrition, hydration, supplements that I recommend, heat exposure stuff, all that. You get a whole bunch of stuff. We're constantly adding to the program. I'm adding more this weekend. Yeah, I recommend that you go check it out. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Thanks again. I really appreciate that you guys come on here and you hang out with me for an hour and a half of your day. It really does mean a lot. I appreciate it. And talk to you guys tomorrow. Talk to you in the next one. Peace out. Goodbye. Thank you for all the answers. You're welcome, Jazan. Peace out, guys.